In the Revachol Citizens Militia, there is only one officer superstar. This is his story. Alright, we're on our own. Let's go take a bath first. Wash the death stench off of us. And once we've done that, maybe we'll go ask What's Her Bucket out on a date. I can hear some bass music or something.
This is not the cleanest bathtub in the world, but it's cleaner than you are right now.
So we can run ourselves a bath, or we can live forever with the corpse smell, memento mori and stuff. No. We'll run the bath.
The bathtub slowly fills with water. The water beckons.
Alright, we're going to undress, close our eyes, and submerge.
The water is only lukewarm, but still comforting. Like amniotic fluid. A few beer cans are bobbing up and down along your flanks, like sad duckies.
Yeah, we're going to leave those beer cans just where they are.
The cans continue to bob, as do your thoughts, aimlessly splashing up against the sides of the tub. They're not even really thoughts, just assorted sensations. None of them acute enough to focus on.
Let's imagine something.
You see the corpse. You can still smell the cadaver on you. It's going to take more than one bath to get rid of that stench.
Well, and now we're just stewing in it anyway. We could shower.
Then, houses along a narrow street. A video rental. Darkness on the planet's curvature.
Alright, we're going to linger in the tub.
Your fingers grow pale and are covered with tiny whirls as the water cools.
We healed one point.
What are you doing? You're not some fat fish in a fucking aquarium. Time to get moving.
Wow, physical instrument. Harsh much? Jesus. Alright, let's get out, I guess.
The waterline recedes as you stand. You are cold now. Your clothes stick to your still moist skin.
Okay, thanks. That was, interesting. Alright, so now we can go ask Lilienne on a date. We can... What else can we do? Let's see if this door is available yet.
The door is closed.
Oh, okay. That's fine. It's the woman from Orani. Do we want to talk to these bastards? No, we're not talking to them without Kim. Right? So it's time for us to do our own thing. So we're gonna go, oh, I can fast travel. Okay, we're gonna go over to the fisherman's shacks. And it'd be nice if we shaved. But, oh shoot. I wonder if the free is still open because we are out of stuff to boost our morale.
The waves are beginning to die down. Look at those little bastards. Simmer down. Simmer down, bastards.
Okay, we have an 8% with our 4 suggestion. Whoops. Oh, I keep hitting the wrong thing. I did it again. Oh my gosh. Okay. Be seeing you, Lilienne. Alright. I don't know that we can improve our suggestion all that much. Right now, we don't have any positives or negatives to it. We can get 1 for this coat. Let's see how much that 1
Waves are
point
beginning
mattered.
to die down. Look at those little
17%.
bastards. Simmer down. Simmer down, bastards.
No. We're going to have to wait. I keep doing that. That's ridiculous. Okay, so that's no good. What do we want to do next? Alright, let's read the books. Let's read the Dick Mullen book.
In your hand, you hold Dick Mullen and the Mistaken Identity. The brittle paperback feels fragile to the touch.
Let's examine the cover.
The cover features a pastiche of different scenes. In the foreground, a man in a dark overcoat clutches a pistol to his chest. Rising up behind him are 2 silhouettes wrapped in a passionate embrace. The tagline reads, Detective Dick Mullen must prove his innocence after an old friend is murdered by someone who looks just like Dick Mullen. That seems to sum up the premise nicely.
Alright, well then let's start reading.
The story opens with a knock at the door. Detective Dick Mullen is greeted by an old friend, Charlie Spillane, who's come to Mullen to ask a favor on this dark and cold night.
Charlie Spillane? There's Mickey Spillane was a fictional character, fictional detective, I think.
Spillane needs Mullen to drive him in from Vespa to a small town along the Insulindian coast. Despite his friend's apparent agitation, Mullen does as he's asked, then returns home where he passes out drunk, as he does most nights.
Look, I can't judge.
2 days later, Mullen is arrested by the Vespa police and charged with the murder of Charlie Spillane. At his interrogation, Mullen learns that Charlie Spillane was shot in a bar in the very town Mullen dropped him off in by a man matching Mullen's description.
Nice. Okay. It's the end of Mullen.
Desperate to clear his name, Mullen manages to convince the Vespa police to release him for 3 days so that Mullen may solve his friend's murder and prove his innocence.
Yeah, there's no way Mullen did it.
Of course, Mullen didn't do it. That's the whole premise of the book. Anyway, Mullen returns to the seaside bar where Spillane was murdered and meets a beautiful, mysterious woman named Diana Deneva.
Oh, nice. A dame.
And not just any dame. She's truly one in a million, a knockout whose mind is as dangerous as her curves. But she's got a secret.
And who doesn't?
Secrets are the currency of human relations. Your secrets are unknown even unto you. So does that make you a rich man or a beggar?
Now it's getting interesting.
Deneuve reveals
It's a good question,
that
though.
she was Spillane's lover and that he was mixed up with a local amphetamine smuggling operation. As soon as Mullen begins pulling at strings, the whole conspiracy begins to unravel.
Of course it does.
Not only is the local police captain in on the amphetamine ring, so is the son of a powerful politician and a strung-out art collector named Torvald, each of whom has his own reasons for wanting Spillane dead.
Well, we're about to hit 2,200 hours, and we're supposed to get over to our communist meeting, so now this book is taking forever. Tell me about the corrupt police captain.
Outwardly, the old police captain is a real law and order crypto-fascist, a barrel-chested man who's beaten his share of suspects to pulp. But he's also dirty and increasingly paranoid that someone's going to expose his role in the drug ring. He would certainly have the motive and the means, but the captain walks with a noticeable limp from an old war injury. Is it possible that he was able to conceal it long enough to commit the murder?
I want to hear about the politician's son before I decide.
A typical privileged twat. In all likelihood, he's just in over his head. He does bear a personal grudge against Spillane, though, a former prosecutor who nearly brought down his father's administration.
Okay.
The kid doesn't exactly have Dick Mullen's manly build, but he is the correct height. And while interrogating him at his home, Mullen did notice a certain overcoat that looks suspiciously like his own.
All right, well, what was that about, an art collector?
Torvald, the art collector, is a strung-out mess. Frankly, it's hard to imagine him holding a pistol steady enough to actually hit someone, let alone plug them 3 times in the chest the way Spillane
Got did, huh?
That said, Torvald and Spillane have a long history, and while interrogating him, Mullen discovers that Torvald was once involved with Diana Deneuve. Could it be that this is all over a sordid love triangle?
It could be. Let's get on with the story.
One evening, Diana Deneuve comes to Mullen's hostel room in tears. The two of them drink half a bottle of vodka, and soon they're seeking comfort in each other's arms.
Of course they are. He's always going to get the babe.
Yes, comfort and pleasure. The warmth of another human's touch. The burning taste of liquor on her full, sweet lips.
Nice. Get it, Mullen.
As the two lovers share a post-coital cigarette, Diana Deneuve turns to Mullen and says, "By the way, Dick, there was something else I meant to tell you."
Oh, what was it?
The name of the true killer. Whatever it is, Mullen never hears the words. A blow to the base of his skull knocks him out cold instantly.
All right, I don't really like where this is going, because I do, but I want to get over to our communist meeting.
In your hand, you hold Dick Mullen and the mistaken identity. The brittle paperback feels fragile to the touch.
We will read the rest of it later. There it is, okay?
Hardcore aesthetic. Oh yes, drugs. We're talking about drugs. Let's face it, these flirtations with the hardcore aesthetic have all been leading up to one question. Can I do drugs harder now that I'm a hard cop? And the answer is yes. You can. You can do one more blast of pyrrolidon and yellow shit powder. You can even pull a ciggy and a lager on top of that. There, you've truly made the hardcore your own thing now.
So, this went in a direction I didn't really think I was taking, Superstar, but, you know, these are the things that happen. Let's see the bonuses. So we get +1 endurance for really useful for doing drugs, and +1 volition, same thing for Hardman. Oh, I see how it works. We can take one more dose of each because it won't kill us. Oh, that is a nice bonus. Okay, let's look at this art. So everybody's loving each other here. This looks a little bit like Abe Lincoln, kinda. This guy has no mouth, and this, for reasons I can't explain, reminds me of a hookah. Anyway, let's accept. Very nice. And then, as I said, we're immediately going to start doing the apricot chewing gum scented one. So let's stick another, unlock another one here. Unlock. There. And internalize this. So it's going to be -1 reaction speed for the next 5 hours and 5 minutes. Now we are going to hit the map and go over to the waterfront. And we are going to run over to Capeside Apartments, where hopefully it is not too late for our meeting. Superstar has not figured out how to... He's like a run walker. You know, like he... if he were doing like a marathon or something, he would run walk the whole thing. It's ridiculous. Come on, Superstar. Okay, here we are at the meeting. Hopefully we're not too late. We're 43 minutes late. Oh, is this not where the meeting is? Wait a minute. Did we miss it? Let's go talk to Cindy. Cindy, where's the meeting?
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
Where's the goddamn meeting? I found some drugs in the coal room. Yours?
They just might be. Rough stuff. If you take the ride, you'd be wise to buckle your little pig belly up.
Her neurons must be on fire, the heat creating waves and ripples in all she sees. Above all, in her painting.
Does it make you see everything all art-like?
You really think I need to be high to see the world as art? Poor unimaginative piggy. How I wouldn't want to have your peepers.
To hell with the art part, man. It's all about the high anyway.
Catch you later. I screwed it up somehow. I can't believe it. I waited all that time. So, what the Hey. Attend Stebbins' meeting after 2200 at the Capeside Apartments. Oh, so I did kill it. It's still here. I was looking in the wrong place. Okay, it's after 2200, so it doesn't say it has to be at 2200. So we're in the apartments. Is it in here? No. Is it here?
As you approach the metal grill, you can hear several voices having what appears to be an animated discussion.
Wow. Honestly, I had given up. I just started clicking around. This is silly.
This must be it. Beyond this door lies the beating heart of radical communism in Martinez. Somehow, the night air softens the smell of trash and sea brine. As the breeze pulls through the canvas like a shuttle through a loom, you catch a hint of something unexpected, something earthy, warm, and burnt. The acrid smell, of failure.
Nice.
No, that's just slightly burnt coffee. A smell you would recognize anywhere.
Yeah, that sounds more likely.
Just look at this pig, sniffing about after hours.
Oh, I really want to say this. I'm going to ignore her.
The metal grill is cool to the touch.
Okay, let's bang on the grill.
The clang of metal reverberates all along the scaffolding. The voices coming from the other side fall silent. A pair of frightened hares cowering in some dark crevice of their burrow.
Who's there? Is that you, Maurice?
Are you a communist? I'm looking for some communists.
Who said communist? Did we say communist? Get out of here.
Listen, I've already built like 0.0001% of communism, but now I need to get organized. Can you help me?
For a moment, silence.
What's the passphrase?
Look, I don't know your passphrase. Could you just let me in?
Not a chance. We can't afford to compromise on our operation. Not at this point. Come back when you know the passphrase.
Look at that! The pig's trying to break in without the passphrase. Tisk tisk.
Did she tell us the passphrase before? I
The
forgot.
metal grill is cool to the touch. The long stretches of canvas billow like sails in the night breeze.
I don't remember the passphrase. Let's try again. Hey, it's me
You
again.
hear the voices conferring once again.
He came back? Do you have the passphrase this time?
It's remember Dobreva and Abad's
There's no response. You begin to wonder whether they've slipped out some back way.
That was the passphrase.
All right. The key's taped to the back of the door frame. Just make sure you put it back when you're done, or we'll all be locked out.
Yeah, I remembered. Because Kim was the one who figured it out.
And do watch the concrete. It just kind of falls away, in places.
Okay.
Have fun at your underground meeting, pig. Hope it's a blast.
Cindy, you're a pain in the ass. Oh, everything turned red here.
The two young men are either oblivious to or ignoring your entrance. Their attentions are fixed on whatever it is they're stacking in the middle of the floor.
It looks like a giant domino thing that's fallen down already.
Matchboxes, it appears.
I think it's holding, Alexis.
It is. It's holding.
It's definitely not holding. Those matchboxes are stacked so haphazardly, it's like they want them to collapse.
Yeah, okay.
Careful, careful.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Damn, hardly any difference.
The young man shakes his head and then looks up at you with barely concealed irritation.
You're late.
Yeah, we are.
He should know the meeting starts at 10 p.m. sharp.
There's a great deal of tension in this young man's shoulders, more than someone his age should bear.
What are they making over here? Ramen?
Meanwhile, his companion inclines toward him, eager to catch every word that dribbles from his friend's mouth. Don't let them see you flustered, sire. Play along.
My apologies, comrades. I had to be sure I wasn't being tailed by our class enemies.
He's taken your measure, like an ideological boxer stepping into the ring.
Okay.
We all have to take precautions, especially during these delicate times. What matters is that you've made it, and that you've done the reading.
Have we done the reading?
Uh-oh. No one said anything about reading. You'll just have to wing this one.
Yeah, we're definitely going to wing it. The reading, yes, I definitely done the reading.
You have? Excellent. Let's hear your critique then.
I thought the themes were
They
interesting.
always say that when they haven't done the reading.
Yes, they probably do.
Well, this is getting awkward. I'm not sure what you're expecting to find here then.
There's profound consternation in his voice. You suspect it's about something bigger than your not having done the reading.
Yeah, probably so.
Maybe he can explain himself.
What exactly are you two doing
In the
here?
most generous sense, I would say we're cultivating revolutionary consciousness.
Yes, that's probably the best way to describe it.
But more specifically, we are running a reading group. It's the most rigorous and theoretically advanced materialist reading group in Martinaise.
Oh, is that so?
Comrade Steban is a great discussion leader. One of the best at the university.
It's obvious they take this group of theirs extremely seriously. Whatever you do, don't compare it to a common book club.
Okay, we won't.
Yawn. Can you imagine anything duller than a bunch of Beano-clads yanking each other's knobs?
It sounds like a yank fest for Beanos. Sounds like a place for intense intellectual engagement. Exactly my kind of jam.
That's our whole thing. The world is so shallow, all noise and repetition. We're interested in genuinely radical critique.
Precisely. We are not interested in senseless parroting. We like to read critically.
Within the contours of Mazovian historical materialism, of course.
I didn't realize they taught radical Mazovian theory in the universities.
As though you can call that problem teaching.
One thing you learn quickly at university is that you're not going to find a real education in any lecture hall or discussion seminar.
Oh, is that right?
We are post-attendance, basically.
Ah, post-attendance. Okay.
Exactly. The only worthwhile part of the so-called École Normale de Revachol is the library. That's where we've made our greatest critical strides.
Post-attendance. Sort of like being melanin impoverished. Okay, so what does your reading group actually read?
We study all the foundational texts of Mazovian theory, of course. Just last week, we finished the second volume of Puncher and Watman's Innocence of Capital.
Truly extraordinary.
And before that, we spent 6 weeks on State and Plasm.
Ooh, state and plasm.
Uh-oh. You can feel your attention span rapidly deteriorating.
Yeah, I'm going to let my mind wander.
Your attention detaches. The voices of the young men fade away. It's a cool evening, you notice.
Look at this building is so torn up. Let's listen for night sounds.
Out beyond the dull chatter, you catch the sound of a distant seabird, and of course, the sound of the large stretches of canvas that cover the missing sections of wall. The way they billow in the night breeze reminds you of something.
Patch of ocean turned on its side? A woman's skirt swelling in the breeze. A wild beast tangled in a sheet. I think this guy's going to say, a woman's skirt swelling in the breeze.
The thought is almost too much to bear. What you wouldn't give to glimpse the bare legs behind it.
We took a point of morale damage.
The more it hurts, the more you have to have it.
Yeah.
Slowly, too slowly, the pain fades from your side. You turn your attention to the two young men, who appear just about finished.
Oh, thank God. I thought they'd go on forever.
And before that, there was Abelard's Impé Infernal.
But, of course, our special emphasis is on the theories of Ignace Nilsson and his followers, especially the inframaterialists.
Wait, who are these inframaterialists?
You're not familiar with them? It's pretty advanced stuff. You may not be ready for it yet, Gendarme.
Okay, but then who's this Ignace Nilsson guy?
Only Krasmazov's most trusted lieutenant, the evangelist of the revolution, and the founding father of the People's Republic of Samara.
It's hard to overstate how unimpressed he is that you've never heard of this world historical individual.
Oh wow, we failed. On encyclopedia. That might be the first encyclopedia one we've ever failed.
He also happens to be the greatest communist theorist after Mazov himself. It was Nilsson who first postulated the existence of ideological plasm, which forms the basis of inframaterialist theory.
Plasm, huh? Sounds like a hell of a drug. You might want to ask about it. The young man sighs. His companion looks about furtively.
Where's the rest of this reading group?
What do you mean? This is the reading group.
Shouldn't a group have, like, more people in
We're
it?
in something of a rebuilding phase.
Oh, really?
Some of our former comrades didn't have the ideological fortitude our work demands.
Okay, but what happened to them?
Intellectual attrition is maybe the best way to describe it. Felix said he couldn't keep up with the reading on top of his classwork. And Susanna wanted to read text other than Mazovian theory. Like novels, if you can believe it.
Oh, I can believe it. I was just reading a Dick Mullen book.
Imagine the audacity of wanting to read a novel in a reading group.
Novels. Unbelievable.
See? Even the gendarme gets it.
We've tried recruiting new members, but unfortunately the current intellectual climate is pretty hostile to inframaterialist thought. These days, if you're on the left, the ascendant schools are the Godwallians and their iconoclasts.
Don't forget about Maurice and the turnips.
Right. Then there was the whole turnip debacle.
Oh my god, the turnip debacle. I mean, whatever will we do?
Whatever this turnip business is about, one thing is perfectly clear. These young students have a much deeper understanding of communism than you do.
Really? Do they? Because we have a 23 in communist. Do they have a 23 in communist? I somehow don't think so.
You could learn a thing or two from them. If you can convince them you're one of them.
What about Cindy? Is she part of the group?
Cindy is... How to describe her role?
Something of an ideological auxiliary, perhaps.
Yes, that's exactly how I would put it. And naturally, we support her radical counter-liberal aesthetics.
Oh, you do?
But she refuses to submit an essay, so we can't call her a member of the group per se.
Well, that's just dumb.
That doesn't stop her from using the room for studio space, of course.
Yes, I see her red paintings all over the place. Did you say something about the turnips?
It's an unfortunate story. You see, our ex-comrade Maurice is something of an economist.
He's studying macro and microeconomics.
Both of them? Well, I mean, they do go hand in hand. It's a good way to get it past the man.
Right. So a few weeks ago, we were discussing the extra physical capabilities of the revolutionary state. And Maurice said, what were his exact words, Ulex's?
It was unbelievable. He said, turnips don't care if they are grown by communists, moralists, or Welkin. They grow just the same.
That is true.
Just a minute. Steban, Ulixis. Why do those names ring the faintest of bells? Probably because they're the real names of Nazteb and Exilus, the authors of that so-called essay about Tip-Top Tournay you read in La Fumée. You should get to the bottom of this when you have the chance.
Okay, we will conceptualization.
Basically, he was rejecting the whole foundation of inframaterialist theory.
Oh, was he? Ugh, the sheer nerve.
What is this inframaterialist business they keep blathering about? You've never heard of anything like it.
I think maybe you guys are the turnips here. Remind me what inframaterialist theory says about turnips again?
Simply that under suitably revolutionary conditions, crop yields naturally increase relative to non-revolutionary crops, which Morris somehow has the gall to deny.
Oh, sure, the gall.
Susanna said that he has been hanging out with some non-communists lately.
For us, the question boiled down to, if you don't even accept the basic ideas of Nielsen and inframaterialist theory, why are you in the reading group?
Yeah, I totally understand.
Of course you do. It's pretty basic stuff.
So you expelled Maurice from the reading group over an argument about turnips.
Well, it wasn't so much that he was expelled.
He just quit coming. We haven't seen him around for weeks.
What's so bad about the Gottwaldians?
They're the most depressing school of communism. They love writing long books with a patina of Mazovian theory to cover up their cheap psychologizing.
A gang of cheap psychologists and intellectual midgets. Typical Gottwalders, in other words.
More racism.
It's okay for Uli to say that because his dad is from Gottwald.
Oh, okay. What's so depressing about their theories?
The Gottwald school believe that intellectuals as a class are incapable of sparking revolutionary change. So all they can do is critique capitalism from inside itself.
In other words, they have lost faith in their own relevance.
Thank you, Logic. I paused here to try and figure out what they were saying, and I couldn't get it.
That's why they spend all their time smoking cigarettes and writing long works of criticism that make you want to commit suicide.
That sounds miserable.
It is miserable. That's probably why they're always committing suicide.
Yeah, okay, makes sense.
You see, the Gottwald school look like communists. They talk like communists. But scratch the patina and you'll see beneath that they're just depressed liberals who've read too many books.
Okay, but what about the iconoclasts?
For starters, they love talking about beans.
Beans?
That's right. Iconoclasts are obsessed with beans. They love thinking about beans. They love counting beans. But most of all, they love building models to predict how many beans there'll be in the future.
Nota bene, iconoclast is an extra pejorative form of the already pejorative name Mazovian economists, a moderate school of Mazovianism which advocates the gradual transition to communism through carefully managed economic modernization rather than violent social revolution.
I mean, I didn't think iconoclast was a nice word.
They're by far the most bean-centric school of communism.
It sounds like they are.
Ah, yes, the much maligned bean counters, ensconced in their think tanks and high rises, believing they can save the world through a series of incremental, assiduously technocratic reforms.
I don't get it. Are the beans a metaphor?
If only. They've got all the beans accounted for in their asset sheets, their quarterly budgets, their future projections. But for some reason, there are never enough beans to go around. So we've just got to cut our bean rations in half.
And next thing you know, there are budget cuts, so now we've got to cut the bean rations in half again.
Oh, you're down to quarter beans.
You see, iconoclasts claim to be communists, but in reality they're just liberals with hard-ons for spreadsheets.
Aha. And what about the liberals? Are they liberals too?
Of course not. The only people who actually call themselves liberals are mouth-foaming reactionaries.
Okay.
Basically indistinguishable from fascists. You'd need an X-ray machine to tell the difference.
These guys certainly hold some opinions. I've heard enough. Let's talk about something else.
Go ahead.
What were you guys doing with the matchboxes?
The young man frowns at the little pile of boxes on the floor.
I noticed it has disappeared though.
Nothing, just messing around until the meeting started.
But we were almost an hour late. You guys were messing around for a whole hour?
They're watching those matchboxes awfully intently for two guys who are just messing around.
I wonder if their ramen is burning. Oh no, this is the burnt coffee. Oh, so we know it's burning.
It's almost as though they were trying to create the most unstable structure they could,
Oh, and that's not a metaphor for anything.
with predictable results.
Do I know you two from somewhere?
I don't think so. Unless you've been hanging around the cultural studies faculty at the École Normale de Révachol.
Perhaps he subscribes to La Fumée.
We did read an issue.
That's sarcasm. He does not expect you to subscribe to radical communist periodicals.
Oh, well, we'll show you, Ulysses. Wait, you guys wrote this?
You've read our article.
For the first time since you met the young man, words seem to desert him.
That I did not expect.
His companion is blushing now, a sheepish grin on his face.
Well, don't keep us on tenterhooks. What did you think of the essay?
I barely remember
The
it.
delicate egos on these boys. Even though you're just some cop, they're desperate for your approval.
I see that.
Hey, you're not just some cop. You've got highly developed critical faculties. Now's your chance to show them off.
It was a good article. You should keep developing your ideas.
Well, of course that's just an initial foray into the subject. We're hoping to return to it for a more substantial treatment next term. In any case, I'm glad our piece found its audience. That's always the hope with these things, you know.
Of course it is. Did this reading group have anything to do with the lynching?
Lynching? No. We're not an operational cell.
Yes, you're just a talkative cell.
We think of ourselves as more of an intellectual vanguard.
Okay, but what's your group's stance on lynching?
Our stance? What? Do you want to know if the SRV has established a party line on the lynchings in Martinez?
The two young men look at one another.
The SRV refers to the People's Republic of Samara, established as a socialist utopia by survivors of the revolution. It has since degenerated into a bureaucratic workers' state under the decades-long rule of President Sapormat Sport Kanazinski.
Though historically speaking, the SRV has supported direct action against right-wing paramilitary squads, especially when they are doing the Indo-tribes' dirty work.
Good point. So as a provisional matter, I can say we support it.
Are they being sarcastic? You feel like you're caught in some elaborate joke labyrinth, but it's impossible to see your way through.
It does feel that way. Oh, plus we failed this challenge, which of course we will at savoir-faire.
It's always that way. Beneath the crust of irony, there's a molten sincerity that threatens to erupt forth. You may witness it yet.
The answer to this better be no. Is your reading group affiliated with the union somehow?
No, we're an independent organization. We acknowledge and respect the union's efforts, but our interests are more theoretical than Mr. Clare's.
He speaks the truth.
Okay, so what's your stance on crime in general?
That's easy. Crime is simply the inevitable expression of the injustice and incoherence embedded within capitalism itself. It's a symptom, in other words, not a cause.
He waves his hand as though this is all there is to say on the subject of crime. Yeah, it's clearly that simple.
His companion can barely suppress a yawn.
Oh, you and me both. Are there any operational communists in Martinez?
No, unfortunately. The communards were hunted down and killed nearly to a man. All that's left of them are bones and old rifles.
Like this one, showing him our rifle that I happily did not sell to Roy.
His companion's eyes widen as you hold up the ancient weapon.
Yes, like that one. I wonder how many of these are still lying around in cellars or sealed up behind the masonry. Can I hold it?
Okay, here.
It's heavier than I was expecting.
The rifle rests in his open palms. Its position reminds you of something.
The attitude of a priest bearing one of the holy relics of his faith. Though it is long out of service, its power is evident to him.
That's pretty neat.
When he's finished, he returns the rifle to you with a nod of appreciation.
Well, you're quite welcome. Is your reading group accepting new members?
We typically only accept new members once per semester. There's this whole process with essays and presentations on assigned topics. But given that we have some extra seating at the moment, I guess we could be convinced to expedite an application or two.
All right, maybe we can get Cindy in here too.
Stefan, you can't be serious. For gendarme?
Yeah, for gendarme.
I am serious. As materialists, we've got to adapt to conditions as they are. Besides, he'll still need to pass the interview portion of the entrance process. Assuming he's even still interested, that is.
Okay, we need an impossible composure to convince them that I belong in the group. So for now, we're going to say that's enough for tonight. Will you still be here if I have more questions?
Sure. We're here most every night. Maybe we'll catch you again.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So we don't have to do all the composure business tonight.
Sleep well, gendarme.
Oh, I'm hoping to. Whoa. Whoa. Look at all this stuff in here. Okay, let's see what this is. What is this? Reflective Construct Invest. +1 endurance, -1 reaction speed. Take that. Coffee. He says university is a lot better once you stop going to class. I found that to be true as well. This poster reads, "Under the cobblestones, communism," although I learned a lot less. Then I had to teach everything to myself. This one says, "No war but class war." A rickety easel surrounded by pots of gouache? Cindy's, no doubt. Yes, thank you. Thank you, superstar. Oh, something not to think about the cracks spidering across the floor. Maybe it says, try not to think about the cracks. Okay, we're going to leave here. That was something for sure. Well, that was certainly an informative episode. Thank you for being here. Please remember to spay or neuter your pets, but not both.